Ohio State is headed to the Cotton Bowl. It will play Missouri. We just got done talking to Ryan Day here at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com, along with Stephen Means and Andrew Gillis. And one of the questions that many of us came prepared to ask today, and many of us did end up asking some version of this question, was how's Ryan Day going to handle the quarterback situation during bowl season? Obviously, Kyle McCord, the season-long starter, or eventually he took that job, and finishing the season that way. And at the same time, this gives you a chance to get a closer look at Devin Brown, a closer look at Lincoln Kienholz. And Ryan Day today, with multiple chances to do so, wouldn't really commit to Kyle McCord even as the full-time guy for this game. That there's going to be an evaluation process during bowl season, and that things seem a little bit open-ended. Stephen, were you surprised at the way he described that today? And what do you think it actually means in terms of the evaluation that's already started?
I was surprised by the future part of it. I think the bowl game can be what it is. It's whether he wants to give those guys opportunity or not. That's completely up to him. But the fact that he's going to have an incumbent starting quarterback next year, and he did not at all commit to yes or no that Kyle McCord is going to be the starter next season. In fact, he went, that's a ways away. Not even wanting to think about that right now. Well, that's not the way he talked about Justin Fields in 2020. That's not the way he talked about C.J. Stroud in 2022. In fact, when he first got here with J.T. Barrett, that's not even the way he talked about that when there was the Dwayne Haskins conversation. So this is an open competition, and we've talked about this, Nathan, at length about how when you recruit the room this way, well, then when this situation comes up, you got to be willing to have a competition. And when you don't say no and you don't say yes, that means there's a chance that this is an open competition once again, whether it's with Lincoln Kienholz, Devin Brown, or even Aaron Nolan when he gets here in a couple of months.
Aaron Nolan won't be around for the bowl game, obviously. He's still he won't be on the team.
He might. They let true freshmen do it last year.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if he'll be that involved in practice, at least in terms of like getting in the mix to play in this game. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about who's going to play in this game. And one thing that Ryan Day did kind of rule out was asked, are you looking for quarterbacks in the portal? He was I guess he didn't give a hard no, but he said, we're not out there looking for anybody. And I think it's because of the way this room's been recruited and the way that they've piled up talent. When you were listening to this, Andrew, are you reading it the same way Stephen did, that this is kind of an open competition now, and that between now and the bowl game even, there's an open door for somebody to step up and become a bigger part of the quarterback situation?
Yeah, I think I expected him to say what he did about the bowl game. Hey, it's going to be a competition, because he got asked a lot about the portal too, and there are a lot of things there that go into roster management too. If you just say Kyle McCord's going to start the Cotton Bowl, never going to leave the field, what incentive does that leave Devin Brown or Lincoln Kienholz to hang around? Like, you want those guys to, might be cruel, but you want those guys to be involved in the competition so that they're more likely to stay. So there is a little bit of that. I figured that there would be some practice element. Oh, we're going to get everybody involved, which he said. Oh, I haven't decided on who's going to play and who's not. We haven't decided on opt-outs. He said all that. The future, like Stephen was saying, that is more interesting to me, because you started a guy for 12 games. You had the opportunity to go away from him on a handful of occasions, maybe whether that be sooner than you did in the fourth quarter, or just for an entire game completely, and you didn't. You commit to that guy for 12 games, and then there's not a resounding slam the table, he's our guy going into 2024, or he's our guy going into spring ball, or he's the leader in the clubhouse right now because he has the most experience. Something like that. You didn't get any of that. And I thought that was the most interesting part. Not that, we don't know who's going to play in the Cotton Bowl. We don't know, because I kind of expected that. The fact that he didn't say something along those lines and then qualify it with, well, Kyle McCord's coming back with the most experience, and that's, and kind of lead you on to the narrative of, all right, well, Kyle McCord's going to have to get beat out for this job. That was the most interesting thing to me, and that tells me they're keeping their options open.
Well, I think that is still true in a larger sense. Someone does have to prove that they're better than him, show that they would be better than him in order to take that job. I think it's maybe coming out of this, you think this could get spun as like, Ryan Day doesn't show any confidence in Kyle McCord, those sort of things. I think it's more just a blunt assessment of when you fall short. They lose the Michigan game, third year in a row. They're not in the playoff for the second time in 3 years and third time in the last 7, or 4 times in the last 7, or whatever it is. Like, those things, you have to reevaluate everything, and that includes the way he coaches the team, and it includes personnel. I mean, you said the same thing last year coming out of a game where the defense clearly let them down. You have to reevaluate every position on the defense to decide if those guys are in the right place. And as it relates to quarterback, you've got 3 guys on the roster right now, scholarship guys, on 3 different timelines. You had Kyle McCord in his 3rd year. You had Devin Brown in his 2nd year. You have Lincoln Keenholz, who just got here this summer. So when you get into next spring, you have a whole new set of data that you have to look at with all 3 of those guys. How much did Kyle McCord improve through or develop through a year of being the starter and getting all of those reps in real time? How much did Devin Brown develop over another year in the program? How much did Lincoln Keenholz gain from his 1st year in the program? I just think the looking ahead to the far future, I always thought was maybe a little bit more open-ended. I was a little surprised to hear him say with no conviction that, well, Kyle McCord is the starting quarterback. We want to win this game. He did say that multiple times, that this isn't just an experiment for them. They want to win this game. They feel like they have to win this game against Missouri. And your starting quarterback would seem to give you the best chance to do that. We'll see what these next weeks tell us and how practices go and how they're talking about this usage of the quarterbacks going into the Cotton Bowl on December 29th. We'll be there covering that game post-Christmas, but we're going to be doing a lot of reporting and coverage of this team ahead of that. So get the text 614-350-3315 and listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you can find podcasts.